Songs start in many different places. They don't always arrive in a flash of lightning. Often, inspiration is a much quieter thing. It can be a small observation. Maybe it's the way the light hits a dusty window. Or it could be a phrase you overhear in a coffee shop. You might find a song in a single word that feels good to say. The key is to pay attention to these little things. Your job is to be a collector. You gather these fragments of the world around you. You don't need to know what they mean yet, just hold on to them. They are the seeds from which something larger can grow. The world is full of potential songs. You just have to be open to them. Inspiration isn't something you can force. It's something you invite. You create a space for it to show up. This might mean carrying a notebook everywhere you go. It could mean humming into your phone's voice recorder when a melody appears. The important part is making the act of noticing a habit. Don't judge the ideas as they come. A silly thought might lead to a profound one. A clumsy phrase could be the start of a beautiful lyric. The goal is simply to welcome everything. Your senses are your best tools for finding these starting points. Sometimes the inspiration isn't external. It comes from within. It might be a feeling you can't quite name, a sense of unease or a surge of joy. Music is a wonderful container for these emotions. You can put those feelings into a chord progression. You can give them a voice with a simple melody. The instrument itself can be a source of inspiration. Just sitting with a guitar or at a piano and playing aimlessly can uncover a new idea. You aren't trying to write a masterpiece. You are just exploring sound and seeing what happens. This process is a conversation between you and your instrument. Remember that inspiration is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You train yourself to see the world like a songwriter. You start to notice rhythms in everyday sounds. You find poetry in ordinary conversations. This isn't a magical gift that only a few people have. It is a skill that anyone can develop with practice and patience. The first step is always the same. You have to show up. You have to sit down and be ready to receive whatever comes your way. The world is constantly broadcasting ideas. You just need to tune in to the right frequency. Once you have a spark, you need tools to build it into a fire. Simple structures can help you organize your ideas. Think about a basic verse-chorus structure. The verse tells the story. It gives the details and sets the scene. Each verse usually has different words but the same melody. The chorus is the big idea. It's the emotional center of the song. It often has the same words and melody each time it appears. This repetition makes it memorable. It's the part people will sing along to. Starting with this simple framework can give your song a sense of direction and make it feel complete. Another useful technique is working with rhyme. Rhyme can make your lyrics more musical and satisfying to hear, but it can also be a trap. Don't force a rhyme if it doesn't feel right. A bad rhyme can make a lyric sound cheap or silly. Sometimes, a near rhyme or slant rhyme works even better. It can sound more natural and less predictable. You can also use other sound devices. Alliteration, which is the repetition of consonant sounds, can create a nice texture. Assonance, the repetition of vowel sounds, can tie lines together beautifully. These are tools to play with, not strict rules to follow. Melody is the vehicle that carries your words. A great technique for creating melodies is to start with rhythm. Try speaking your lyrics out loud. Notice the natural cadence and flow of the words. This can become the rhythmic foundation for your melody. Then you can start adding notes. Move up and down the scale. Try to match the emotional tone of the words. A sad lyric might have a melody that moves downward. A hopeful lyric might rise. Don't be afraid to keep it simple. Some of the most powerful melodies only use a few notes. The goal is to serve the song, not to show off. Contrast is a powerful tool in songwriting. You can create contrast between different sections. A quiet, sparse verse can make a loud, full chorus feel even bigger. You can also create contrast within a section. You might use a happy-sounding melody with sad lyrics. This creates a fascinating tension for the listener. It adds depth and makes the song more interesting. Think about dynamics. Where does the song get louder? Where does it get softer? These changes in energy keep the listener engaged from beginning to end. It's like telling a story with sound. Experienced songwriters understand that finishing is a skill. It's easy to start 100 songs. It's much harder to finish one. A helpful strategy is to set small, achievable goals. Your goal for today might not be to write a perfect song. It might just be to write one verse, or maybe just find a good title. This approach is less intimidating. It breaks the monumental task of writing a song into manageable pieces. This is sometimes called the songwriter's mindset. You treat it like a job. You show up and do the work, even when you don't feel inspired. The inspiration often comes from the act of doing. Seasoned writers are also great editors. They are not afraid to change things. They might write a whole verse and then throw it away. They understand that the first idea is not always the best idea. The real work often happens in the revision process. A useful strategy is to step away from the song for a while. After a day or two, you can come back to it with fresh ears. You will hear things you didn't notice before. You might see a better way to say something, or you might realize a certain section isn't working. Be ruthless but fair. Ask yourself, does every line serve the song? Collaboration is another strategy many experienced writers use. Working with someone else can bring a new perspective to your song. A co-writer might come up with a chord progression you would never have thought of. They might suggest a lyric that unlocks the whole song. It can also help you get unstuck. When you hit a wall, another person can often see the way around it. Collaboration requires trust and an open mind. You have to be willing to let go of your own ideas for the good of the song. It's a partnership where the final product is more important than any one person's ego. Finally, great songwriters learn from other songs. They listen actively. They don't just hear a song, they take it apart. They ask questions. Why does that chorus work so well? How did they build that tension in the bridge? What makes that lyric so powerful? This is not about copying. It's about learning the language of music. You are building your vocabulary of chords, melodies, and structures. By understanding how your favorite songs were built, you gain more tools for your own toolbox. You see what's possible. This deep listening is a form of practice that will make you a better writer. To boost your own creativity, you must give yourself permission to be a beginner. Every single time you sit down to write, you are starting from scratch. Forget about your last song, whether it was good or bad. Forget about what you think a song should be. Just be present in the moment. Play, make noise, write down a terrible line. The goal is not to be brilliant. The goal is to make something exist that didn't exist before. This removes the pressure. Creativity thrives in a low-stakes environment. When you aren't worried about the outcome, you are free to explore and discover things you never would have found otherwise. Embrace limitations. Sometimes having too many options can be paralyzing. Try giving yourself a creative constraint. For example, decide you are going to write a song using only 3 chords. Or challenge yourself to write a song that doesn't use the word love. Or write a song from the perspective of an inanimate object. These kinds of exercises force you to think differently. They push you out of your comfort zone and away from your usual habits. You will be surprised by the creative solutions you find when you have to work within a specific set of rules. It's a powerful way to unlock new ideas, develop a routine. Creativity isn't just a fleeting moment of inspiration, it's also a habit. Set aside a specific time each day or each week to work on music. It doesn't have to be a long time, even 15 minutes is enough. The consistency is what matters. This tells your brain that this is important. It trains your creative muscles to be ready to work when it's time. Over time, you'll find that ideas start to show up for your scheduled appointments. You're creating a reliable space for your creativity to emerge. This discipline is the foundation upon which creative freedom is built. Lastly, be kind to yourself. The process of creating something is vulnerable. You will write songs you don't like. You will have days where nothing comes. This is normal. It is part of the process for every single songwriter. The key is not to let the inner critic take over. Acknowledge the frustration and then gently set it aside. Celebrate the small victories. Be proud that you showed up. Be proud that you wrote a line, even if it's not perfect. Your relationship with your own creativity is a long-term one. Nurture it with patience and encouragement, and it will continue to grow.